Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Jonathan. Jonathan is a teacher and he lives in Kentucky in the USA. So let's see what Jonathan has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
Hey Jonathan, how are you?
Doing fine, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you so much. Should I call you Jonathan or...
Yeah, Jonathan is my middle name. That's the name I prefer to go by. So.
Okay, perfect. Because I saw D there, I was like, let's double check.
Yeah, first name is David, but I prefer to go by Jonathan.
Okay, Jonathan. So how's your day been so far?
Pretty good. Kind of a slow start to the day. My hair is a mess today, so sorry. Trying to grow out a bad haircut.
And where are you from?
I live in Western Kentucky. A town called Greenville. We say Greenville because we're, from the South. So
I see.
But, it's a small town. I'm about an hour and a half, 2 hours to Nashville, Tennessee. And then, so that's the biggest near city that most people would know, probably.
I see. And what do you do for a living?
I'm actually a high school Spanish teacher.
Oh, that's amazing. What do you like the most about your job?
I like watching when the students, grow and learn things over time. It's really neat to watch students do that. So, especially if they get engaged in something, that's always rewarding.
And why the language is Spanish?
I've always been fascinated by languages growing up, and I had it in high school and took it in college. I studied in Spain. Many years ago, more than I want to count anymore. So, and I love the language and the culture, and it's always been, just something I enjoyed. So,
where in Spain did you study?
I studied in Madrid and Segovia. It was a study abroad program, so that's for college. So that's where we were based in that area. So Castilla y León and Castilla-La Mancha in that area.
I see. Very good. Actually, I had some interviews for the last past week with a few people from Spain. So from Madrid, there is somebody from Madrid. There is, I think, 2 people from Barcelona. So yeah, sometimes I have, it's like a wave. Come out some America, some Spanish, some European, some South America. So it's like a wave of interviews. Listen, before we start our journey within the Magic Box, tell me something interesting about yourself.
Oh goodness, I think I'm rather boring.
I don't think you are.
Let's see here. Something interesting. Well, I like to write. I mean, I've written a couple novels, but nothing published. I'm not ready to publish anything, but I enjoy writing. That's probably the most interesting, I guess. I don't know. I'm just from a small town, do small town things, so it's not really a lot to do here, but unless you want to drive out to go do something. So I like to travel when I can. In 2019, I went to Costa Rica. It was actually a school trip with students. Suffice it to say, I don't plan on taking students on trips anymore.
Why is that?
Oh, there was some shenanigans going on that were not appropriate. So I just kind of burnt me on that, but I do like to travel. So in my younger days, right after college, I've been to Spain, of course, studied in Spain, been to Paris and Thionville, which is near German Luxembourg border. So I passed through Luxembourg, been to Germany for one day, then I've been to Canada, I've been to Mexico twice. So, I try to travel. Of course, this is a span of the last 20 years, of course, not recent, but I do enjoy traveling when possible.
Very good, very good. I think traveling, it's adventure it leaves a lot of good memories.
Oh yes, definitely.
For sure.
One day I want to make it to the United Kingdom and the surrounding areas, but I just haven't quite made it there yet.
Let me know. Okay, Jonathan, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of view?
I'm a little nervous, so I will. If my voice cracks, this might be why. The lighting in my house is terrible, so I hope it's okay. Because, like I said, I tried different areas before we came on.
It's
On the
amazing.
couch and in the office, a lot of different areas to try to find the best one.
You look just perfect.
Thank you.
Let's go. I'm just going to play a song now just for us to move a little bit before the first question. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so before we start the journey through the game, if there is a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay? It's all very chilled and friendly.
Okay, sounds good.
First question for you is, what your ideal life look like?
Oh, good Lord. My ideal life. Well, I'm kind of in transition because I want to move to a bigger area. I call my little area the gay desert. Where I live, it's just very rural, not a lot of support in that area. So my ideal life would be living somewhere where there's more of a community you could be involved in. I mean, there's Nashville, Tennessee that's close by. So to me, having that where, you have access to, like if you want to be a part of an organization that helps, different people in the LGBTQ community, but also to, exploring more of that type of thing. So that, and just being somewhere where, if you want to travel, it's easier to get onto a plane. Because now, said, where I live is not a bad place. I don't want to paint it like it's horrid or anything. For where I live is the county seat, and it's still fairly democratic. So it's not liberal, but it's not super conservative at times either. So it's kind of for the area, it's a decent place to live. It's just everyone, if you want to do anything, you have to drive away. So that convenience of being, where things are a little closer, if you want to go to museums or you want to go hiking, things would be nice. So my ideal life is an active lifestyle, traveling, road trips, hiking, camping, those types of things.
And Greenville is where you were born and being raised?
I was born in the next county over, but my family, we moved around when we were younger. We grew up very poor. I joke with my students, I said, I remember being in the free cheese line back in the 80s. The government was, helping people out in the early 80s because of right after the 1970s, a lot of depression and inflation and whatnot. But anyway, long story short, so we grew up very poor. So we moved around a lot because Dad's jobs and things. And then when we kind of came back to the area, we settled in this general area. And they moved around a few different times. But by high school, we had settled in the Greenville area. And I bought my house back in 2006. So I've kind of stuck myself here whether I really wanted to or not. But again, it's not a bad place to live. I don't want to paint it. It's terrible.
Do you have siblings as well?
I have one brother. He's 2 years younger than I am. So
I see. Very good. Next question. Let's do it. Before the next question, tell me, when you think about your experience in Spain, what's the best memory that you recall? You said, oh my God, that was one of the best experiences I ever had abroad.
Let's see here. Well, one of the best experiences, I was a bit inebriated. So we were in Barcelona, and we had stayed at a youth hostel because we were based out of Madrid. And then we had took a train through Zaragoza down through to Barcelona. And we were a youth hostel and they had like a little party on the rooftop. From there, we went to a festival or feria. And from there, we went to I guess it was a rave or something. I don't know. I didn't partake in any of the drugs or anything that was going on, but it was just a lot of fun that night. Just the way it went from one event to the other. It was just very rounded experience that evening. So, just hanging out with local people and people from other countries, some from the United States, from Germany, England, that were kind of mixed there. So it was really, really a unique experience and I really enjoyed it.
Oh, sweet. Actually, you say about Barcelona, I think it's tomorrow. There is a goes live tomorrow. My guest, he's from Chile, but he's living in Barcelona for the last, I think, 8 or 10 years. And he's just amazed about Barcelona. Was his dream to live there. And but yeah, he's from Chile.
Yep. It's been quite a few years. I don't want to date myself, but it's been quite a few years. So I'm sure things have changed. I look younger than I do, so I'm sorry. I may be a little vain sometimes.
I think you're just fishing for compliment.
You're right. You're right. Hey, you got to get it somehow, right?
Next question is, what makes you really angry?
Oh God, there's quite a few things. Right now, see here, what has really ticked me off recently? So I tend to be moody anyway. So I'm trying to think, what has recently ticked me off? Oh, it's like being at the grocery store and people are just aimlessly wandering down the aisles and you're trying to get to something, you're trying to look something, they just kind of about run you over. Don't even say, pardon me, or anything like that. Just, I guess, courtesy or lack thereof. That's really here recently is what's really kind of, I'm like, I want to shout at them, decorum, 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 just have courtesy to say, excuse me or something, but a lot of people seem to have forgotten that.
Absolutely. It's one of my biggest pet peeves as well when that happened. I was like, oh dear, why? It's just so simple. Next question. Let's do it. Yes, you can join me.
All right. You're going to make me, I'm going to blush. I'm going to have to hide my face.
Next question is, what things do you consider to be relationship deal breakers?
Oh, good Lord. I don't like really clingy people. So in a relationship, if someone is really too clingy, I don't like it. I like to be with someone that I'm with, but I don't want to be like we say here in the South, stuck up my butt. That just, no, I don't like that. Another thing too is that kind of is a deal breaker when you meet someone, which again, in a rural area is very few and far between in a rural area for a gay person, is what I call instant boyfriend, where you meet someone, whether, it's a hookup or whatever it might be, it's like instant boyfriend. I'm just like, no, we don't even know each other very well. No. So I don't like that either. That to me would be a red flag if someone's kind of already instantly thinking like that. And I understand people have different journeys where they want different relationship things, but to me, that's kind of like, again, goes back to being too clingy. Give us some time to get to know each other before we determine that.
Tell me something. What's the meaning of clingy? I like that. I'm going to learn something new today. We're going to make my day.
Clingy is where I guess it's an attachment style where someone is just always wanting to be near you, always wanting to touch you, someone who just wants to constantly be in your presence, constantly calling you, and they don't really give you space to do your own thing, whether it's work, whatever. They just constantly are barraging you with things. And I understand, each person has a different attachment style. I wish they taught that in school these days. It would help a lot of people in future relationships.
You just made my day now. I learned something new. Clingy. I like it. You see? Learning every day.
Maybe it's a Southernism. I don't know. Just like we call everything Coke. Like you go to a restaurant and you say soft drink or cola. You're like, what kind of Coke do you have? Well, it might be Diet Pepsi, but we still call it Coke.
Oh, interesting. Another one for my list. Next question. Right, Jonathan.
Broke into Funky Cole Medina there for a second.
Again, what you say?
It sounded almost like Funky Cole Medina there for a second.
It's like a mix of the 90s music.
Yeah, that's why it's kind of right at that era.
I just to ask something. Of course, when you learn a new language, there's always some difficulties, like to say some words or phrase. For example, I started studying English when I was 12 years old, 11, 12 years old. And I remember I couldn't say nice to meet you. It was so hard for me. I remember it was like, nice to meet you. It was so hard for me. With time, of course, I got used to. And I remember it was even harder to say nice to meet you too. I remember I was practicing as a teenager. How about you? When you were learning Spanish, there's like a word or a phrase, something that for you it was very difficult to say or to pronounce?
I guess to me what is interesting is a lot of the idiomatic type expressions where you say certain things a little differently. Instead of like saying I am 30, I wish I was, but they say I have 30 years, and I assume Portuguese is very similar. I mean, I can read some Portuguese. I I know if you memorize French phrases, I can read French. I can, kind of, because of the Latin connection, I can determine what a lot of things are. And I have French heritage back a long time ago, but I should know more French than I do for that. But I'm just an American mutt mostly, but we do have some French in there. But a lot of the idiomatic expressions, how they say things, of course, it sounds different to English speakers, but of course to a native speaker it doesn't. So that's always interesting in teaching or helping students understand this is how you say it here, but they're like, what do we say it this way? I don't know, but this is their concept, their paradigm of how they use it. So that was always very interesting, I thought.
It's you're totally right. In Portuguese as well, we say I have 13. I have an age. You don't say I am 12 years old. So yes, it's very interesting to learn. Next question is tough question now for you. If someone came up to you with an envelope with your death date inside of it, would you open it or not, and why?
Oh goodness. Actually, I was kind of thinking about that the other day, because my father died with pancreas cancer when he was 48, and I'm getting close to that age. So I've been kind of thinking about that. What if I only have X number of years left? What do I want to do? So that has prompted me to think, do I want to move somewhere? If I want to find someone for a relationship at some point, I might have to move. Just being honest, I may have to move. Again, not a bad place. Cost of living is really cheap. My mortgage is less than, by half or more of the rent in a big city like Nashville, Tennessee. So cost of living is very good, but you don't have these other things. So I think I would pass on the envelope, because I would rather be living my life than trying to cram everything into that. And that's another reason I like Hispanic culture or Latin-based cultures, because a lot of times they live in the moment. They live, for that family or that friend or whatever in that moment. And I would rather try to live like that than to know, okay, in 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 years, that's the time. So that way I'd rather be caught unaware by it, I think.
Fun. Next question. Let's do it.
Not a good dancer. At least I'm not doing the white boy dance where you stick your teeth out.
Never seen that before.
I guess it's a Southern thing, a white guy's dancing at the club when he does like that or something.
Another tough question for you. If your plane was going down and if you could call just one person to say goodbye, who that would be and why?
Would probably call my mom, I guess. And they're her or my brother, and we're all fairly close, so it would probably be one of them. In some ways I'm a little closer to my brother than my mom, but I would call one of them. So I don't know, I guess it would have to be in that moment who I would think of first.
You know what? You made me remember now something actually from Kentucky, this interview I had. And actually, if I'm not wrong, he might be from the same city as you. Now, it just came to my mind. He said, the same question came up to him, and he said that actually, he told me a real story. His plane was literally going down. They had was a panic or something, but really, the plane was literally it went down Anyway, so the plane was going down, and it would but he was in control, the pilot, but he was trying to find a way to land, not drastically. Anyway, wow. So everything was going like crazy in the plane, and actually he called his mom. He managed to call his mom, and people screaming, and he was trying to explain what was happening, and suddenly the plane kind of crashed, and he lost connection with his mom on the phone, but wow. Glad nothing happened, no one, people got hurt a little bit, but no one died. But imagine he couldn't call back his mom for the last 2 or 3 hours. Can you imagine his mom in the situation? I think that's the plane.
That would be horrible.
Oh my God, but he was saying that. I was like, oh my God, imagine your mom's shoes, how can you imagine? My God, how, the situation. His mom was literally on the floor already, crying and trying to think that something went wrong. But anyway, I just found let's say, interest in the story when he was saying this question came up to him. But you say about your family that you are fairly close to them. Being gay, it always being like, let's say, you always had the support, or tell me a little bit about it.
No, I really, in a lot of ways, still don't have a lot of support. Even in 2020 or 22, it is now. They don't really talk about it a whole lot with me. My dad, before he died, he knew. I told him. But I really wouldn't say I have support. And I always say, we want you to be happy, but that's about as far as it goes. There's no other really support that I would say is there. I mean, that's support enough. But I think a lot of it has been kind of out of mind, out of sight kind of stance. So I'm not really sure they're still dealing with it in some way. Now, if I were in a relationship and brought someone around, I'm not sure how they would react. So it would probably be a very awkward situation. And again, we grew up very conservative, fundamentalist religion, in Christianity. And so there's still some of that thinking in the family. So most of my family is, I would say, non-supportive. They don't do anything against me, but they're not really openly supportive anyway. So that can make it feel, that's why I jokingly call it the gay desert, because it's kind of like you're kind of in the desert by yourself a lot of the time. That's what it feels like.
Next question. Let's do it.
I'm going to hide this time. I want to be like this.
You don't need to. You're fine. Next question is, what's the biggest difference between you and your best friend?
Oh, goodness. Biggest difference. Let's see here. What would be? I guess in a lot of ways, I tend to be a little more pragmatic than he is. We're both teachers. He's gay as well. He's a very nice guy. He's just, I think, a little more idealistic than I am. I tend to be a little more pragmatic. And he lives in the same general area in a rural city, as well. But he helps take care of his father. But he's a very nice guy. He does a lot of good things, but with his dad and helping him out and stuff. So because of his health, my mom is fine health-wise. But I would say mostly he's very idealistic, and I'm very pragmatic. So sometimes I have to watch that. It may tend to be negative, and I try not to be. So that's what I'm working on this year, is trying to be more positive.
Very good. Do you see some work in progress?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fairly a positive person, but I'm just trying to be, I guess, more positive and more in the moment than I have been in before.
Good one. Next question, Jonathan. Before the next one, in your opinion, what's Kentucky, let's say, sticks out of compared with other states in the U.S.? Like, in your opinion, what is the what you're most proud, or what do you think that people from Kentucky, you know what I mean? I just can find in Kentucky, they cannot find anywhere else in the U.S. There's something special, something different, something that you like, in your opinion?
Let's see here. I think most people in Kentucky tend to be pretty friendly, and as long as you're not in their face with anything, they don't really care. So in that respect, it's good. And when you go to a big city like Lexington, Kentucky, or Louisville, everybody says Louisville, but we always call it Louisville in our local accents here. But our very large cities, metro areas, are 500 to 1 million people in Louisville alone. So you get a mix of people there, so it's a little different. But when you get into some of the bigger towns under 100,000, and there's quite a few of those, people tend to be, as long as you're not in their face with anything, whether it be politics, religion, homosexuality, whatever, they tend to leave you alone for the most part. So I think that's pretty good for a Southern conservative state, that, most people are, of course, we have those who are not, of course, but for the most part, I think that's what's good about the state.
Good. Next question is, what has been the happiest point of your life?
Happiest point in my life. Well, I guess some of the happiest points in my life in the past, couple of years is kind of been branching out, kind of trying to get out of my comfort zone. And there's been a few bumps in the road. Sometimes I have social anxiety a little bit. And so I went to one venue. It was around Nashville, Tennessee. And I kind of had a panic attack, but I talked myself out of it. I got myself calmed down and I stayed. And I met some friends there, or made friends there. And that's been positive. So I've been trying to, in the past couple of years, trying to branch out and get out of my comfort zone more, and doing things by myself, and pushing myself to do that. So that has brought a lot of happy memories to me by doing that. So.
And when you say about social anxiety, is because you always had, or is just is a kind of regard your personality?
Seems like in some ways it's developed over the past few years. So I think some of that might be probably is just could be internalized homophobia. It could be a lot of these things, that growing up very conservative and not being like today, the younger guys and gals that are LGBTQ, they can come out much earlier. Of course, back when I was in high school, that was the least thing you ever wanted to do because of, what people might say or do to you. Of course, I was in high school in the 1990s. And I was in college in the early 2000s. So it's, I think it has developed, and some of it could be insecurities. It could be my own personal, because I used to be heavier as a kid, and I've lost weight, and I try to work out, try to be healthy as I can. So some of that might be some of those insecurities too about not fitting a stereotype as a gay person or just as a young man or whatever. So that, although I don't know, I'm not a psychologist, but all those together seem to be have compiled into that. But I mean, it's getting better, and I've been trying to again push myself into situations. Not on purpose, but to branch out. So I got to get over this. So how do I do that? So I've been trying to look for opportunities to do that.
Well, very good. Next question. Let's do it, Jonathan.
As a kid, was it the DAP, whatever they did back in the day?
I just saw a tattoo in your arm. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, it's the family story is that my last name, because the last name Hayes can have Irish, English, Scottish, or even French origin, that we are part French. So, and it means hedge or forest. So that's the trees. And I like to travel. So I had right here, the Nordic Norse compass on there. So it's really about kind of outdoorsy, kind of travel, kind of reference to my last name as well. And the red around it is for fall, because the autumn season of the seasons is my favorite.
Mine too.
I love the change of seasons. So I don't know if I would be the happiest in Florida where you don't have as much season change. I do like the season change.
Your birthday around the fall as well or not?
What? Your
birthday is around the fall? Which month?
No, I'm actually a spring baby. I was June. Okay. So I'm a Gemini.
Next question is, oh my God, all the questions for you comes about happiness, being happy. Or look, the next question. What does happiness mean to you?
Happiness means me. I think, again, back to kind of where I'm trying to push myself into social situations that I've not experienced or not been comfortable with in the past, is having more access to do that, be in those social situations, because once I've gotten used to those and like them, I'm kind of crave them. I want to be around other people like myself, or I want to be in these more open social scenes or events. So for me, happiness would be, isn't it being active, where you have friends or people around you that you can do active things with. You can go camping or hiking or go to a concert, these things, the kind of thing. So to me, happiness is that. So it's just trying to involve other people, but also to other events that you look forward to. So kind of like this, I was looking forward to this, and it kind of made the the Mondays start better knowing that we were doing this. So Mondays are not my favorite day. I'm like Garfield the cat. I don't like Mondays. I'd rather sleep it off.
Very good. Right, Jonathan, I have 3 questions left for you, okay? Let's do it.
All right. Yes, sir.
But before the next question, tell me what's the best part of being a teacher and what's the most challenging part?
The best part is like the other day we were doing an activity in class, and I hadn't used it in a while because with COVID we have a lot of different like restrictions and whatnot. So I got out a foam ball and we tossed it around the room and we did a review activity for the vocabulary that we were working on, and the students really got involved in it. So those type of moments really are, I think, enjoyable for me as a teacher, seeing them really get involved, even the ones who usually you're constantly nagging, stop doing that, get out your book, do this, do that. The students are notoriously disengaged no matter what you do. So seeing them get involved in something like that and actually have a little bit of fun, it was very rewarding. The most frustrating is, and most teachers will probably complain about this, is apathy, where a lot of students just don't care, just like whatever, and stuff. And I've been teaching long enough. I get students tell me all the time, well, Spanish is not a subject. We don't like Spanish. They say that kind of stuff all the time. So at this point, it's all white noise to me. But I try my best not to make them hate the language or the culture. So I try to find fun things for them to do. And that's always rewarding. So, and it's also the most frustrating too. So you're providing these activities that might be fun and rewarding, but you still have those sticks in the mud that don't want to do anything. And that's the most frustrating part, is trying to reach those.
Next question is, what hurt your feelings?
Oh, good Lord. There's a lot of things. Lots of things. All right. Good Lord. All right. Let me see here. What can hurt my feelings sometimes, I don't know how I would deal with it in the United Kingdom, is backhanded compliments sometimes, and I've heard, it could be just an American stereotype, that the British do this a lot, where they'll give you a compliment, but at the same time slap you in the face. But those kinds of things where, people don't mean to, and they kind of say something that's obviously true, and it kind of hurts your feelings for that brief moment. It stings you, as it were. So
a lot of British people going to be watching the interview. They're going to go like,
oh, they're going to hate me. They're going to hate me. Or they're going to make fun of my hair, or they're going to make fun of my accent. So.
I think they might say, he's right. You know what I mean? They might say that. Never know.
No, I've met a few British or people from England and Ireland, different places, and they're fine people. But I watch some British sitcoms and things, and they're always doing that. So I'm like, oh yeah, that would probably. So again, it may just be an American stereotype. So.
2 questions left,
right.
Jonathan. Let's do it. I would like you to answer the next question, your best Spanish accent. Can you do that?
Okay.
Good.
In Spanish?
No, you can answer it in English, but the Spanish accent.
Oh, goodness, I don't know if I can do that. But I'll try. I can do it in an Irish accent.
What is the most difficult thing have you ever done?
Oh, good Lord. Most difficult thing. I don't know if I can do that with a Spanish accent. I can do it with an Irish accent probably, but
you can. Okay, let's try the Irish then.
All right, I don't know. All right, and forgive me, Irish people. I have family that are also I'm part Irish, so we've been told in the family line. So I apologize ahead of time. Oh, good Lord. Let me see here. What is the most difficult thing that I've ever done? All right, probably trying to talk with an Irish accent on a interview that might be on YouTube.
Besides that.
Okay, besides that. All right, in all seriousness, the most difficult thing that I've had to do is probably, to me, is this happens every year, is when you get a new class and new students that first day, because you're just like the students, you're nervous. I've been teaching 15 years, so it's a long time. So I'm seasoned and probably set my ways too much as well. But is that first day, you're nervous, they're nervous, and you gotta kind of put that poker face on. That first day, you got to put the fear of God in them, as they say, and you got all this going on at the same time. You don't want to alienate them. So that's a lot of stress that first day or first few days of school. So, and that happens every year. So that's difficult.
And what's the mechanism that you find to deal with that? There's something like, okay, that's the first day. I need to, I don't know, calm down. I need to do something. I need to do some yoga, or I need to, I don't know. There's something that you try to.
The current school I'm at now is I live in one county, Greenville, but where I teach is in another. It's the county right over the county I was actually born in. And the school's been pretty good about, we have what we call legacy rally the first day. And so each class is about 20 minutes. We have 6 periods. I teach 5. We have 1 planning. And they get to spend 20, maybe 30 minutes in that class. And we're supposed to do icebreakers and things like that. So the school has set up that first day to be kind of fun. And then the next 2 days, because we usually start with 3 days, the first week or so. Unless like it was during COVID, that would totally kind of change that paradigm. But we will have a legacy rally. They'll have games for the teachers and students to play and stuff like that. So it kind of gives everybody kind of a break from that first day jitters. It still is nervous because the second day really has become the first day. And then you're back to being nervous and trying to do those things. But it does help, getting into the building and kind of having some of that stress. But so that helps a lot. Otherwise, it's usually the weekend before school starts, I'll try to take a road trip or something, or I'll do something kind of fun. Or if I can arrange with friends, family that, are, because they have kids and their own lives, to have dinner or something kind of fun, so they kind of help leading into the week, have done something positive.
Good one. Jonathan, ready for the last question?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it. I'll follow your moves.
You have thoroughly embarrassed me. I'm bashful by nature, so I tend to be very shy coming at first.
Again, fishing for compliments.
No, I'm very bashful, actually. Yeah.
Before the last question, Jonathan, what would be your best piece of advice for someone who'd like to become a teacher? Would you like to start a career as a teacher? Or even like teaching a foreign language? What would be your best piece of advice?
All right. As for a teacher, anyone who wants to be a teacher, I would say, they used to tell me, be a substitute teacher. Like when you get so many college credit hours, you can be a substitute teacher. But I wouldn't necessarily tell someone to do that, because a lot of times substitute teachers are not treated the best. Classroom teachers treated better. Substitute students think they can just do whatever and get away with it. So that's not always the best gauge. I would say the best advice is to, whatever subject a person wants to teach, is to shadow a teacher in that area at multiple different schools, so you get a wider range. Because you will have one school where the socioeconomic status of the school is different than another school, and you may go to a different school when you get out of college. And so that changes how students react to certain things, and seeing different schools might open a person's eyes, because they don't teach you that in college, at least not in the United States. So when I first started teaching, it was a kind of, I wouldn't say an inner city school, but it was similar. And so that was an eye-opening experience about, things that those students have to deal with and how they react to certain things. So as I got older, I understand now that some student is reacting to something, it's probably something else going on somewhere. So, and I think they need to teach that more, or more teachers who want to be teachers need to kind of figure that out earlier than I did. I had growing pains as a early young teacher. Foreign language is to definitely study abroad. There's due to different costs, and colleges, universities is very expensive, and people get student loans, and it's a very difficult situation. But is to study or travel to a Spanish-speaking country as much as possible. I've been to Mexico twice, and then I've been to, of course, to Spain. So those were very eye-opening, but also it helped me to get better fluent at the language. So that would definitely be my advice, is to travel to Spanish-speaking countries, befriend a person who speaks Spanish, marry someone who speaks Spanish, whatever, to get that experience in, and it will help, I think.
Great. Last question for you is, what makes you a unique person?
Oh, a unique person. Let's see here. I would say I'm boring, but maybe I'm not boring. I'm trying to think what's unique. I think deep down is I tend to be very Victorian in some thinking and very pragmatic. So I tend to, that's why a lot of times in initial social events, I tend to be I've been accused of being Mr. Spock from Star Trek, emotionalist. So I'm like some old Victorian woman that just, is kind of like this in a social situation. So that, I guess it's unique to me is that, I observe more before I open up. So, and that's something I think a lot of people don't realize is that sometimes when I'm quiet, I'm actually observing people and seeing where's the best avenue for me to get into the conversation or to introduce myself into this situation. So, and I tend to do that a lot more than I used to think I did.
I would call that wisdom.
Yep, I guess.
Yes. Jonathan, it's not the end yet, okay? Let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to give away some words and you just tell one word that comes to your mind. Right. Let's do it. Politics.
Liberal.
How about love?
Love. Friendship.
Money.
First thing comes to my mind. First thing that came to my mind was pragmatic, but I need to be more pragmatic with money, so we'll leave it there.
Family.
I guess love. Word for that.
Life.
Adventure.
One word for sex.
Passion.
Religion.
Probably where I'm at in my life, I would say agnostic. That's kind of where I'm at with it right now.
I like this word, agnostic. I like this one. One word for fear.
Anxiety.
Friendship.
Companion.
Desire.
I would also say passion. That one comes, I think, go hand in hand.
Regrets.
It's two words, but lost experience.
Okay. Success.
I guess growth would be a good word. There's a lot of words that kind of come to mind to that, but trying to be stereotypical like acolytes, where you're getting rewarded for this, that. But really, when I think of personal success, is growth. Seeing growth in myself or others.
One word for wish.
Desire, I guess.
Happiness.
Friendship again.
One word for Kentucky.
All right, good Lord. Let's see here. Most people say horses, so I'm going to veer away from that. So I would say simple life.
Okay. One word for Spanish language. One word.
All right, so one word for that would be caliente.
Ooh. Saying that, what's your favorite Spanish words?
My high school Spanish teacher would have us do tongue twisters, and I remember part of one, ferrocarril.
Very
that was my favorite one because you get to roll your R's in that one.
One word for USA.
I would say variety. Okay, because there's many parts of it and each area is different. So.
Like Brazil, I must say as well.
Never been, but maybe one day.
Yes. One word for the last one. The last word for teacher.
Teacher, I would say nowadays it's become more of, I guess, with COVID especially, is mentoring friendships and helping students to, with coping with everything the way it's been. So I guess would say mentor is a good word for that.
Okay, let's pretend now I'm going to meet your best friend for a coffee. And I'm going to ask your best friend, tell me the most beautiful thing about Jonathan and tell me something that he still needs to improve on, to work on. What he would say?
The most beautiful thing. Oh, goodness me. You're really putting me on the spot. And I watched your videos before too. I should have been ready for this. Let's see here. Most beautiful thing. I guess I tend to be very compassionate. So I say they would see that, and it comes with being a teacher. You have to be very patient. Patience, I guess, would be. It's not really I guess it could be a beautiful thing, but I tend to be very patient, sometimes to my own detriment. So maybe, and then the thing I need to work on the most is probably self-confidence, because sometimes I do lack that a little bit.
Interesting. Sometimes our best friends, they know ourselves better than ourselves. You know what I mean? They know.
Very, very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the one I was talking about, the backhanded compliment. They may have run me on that one.
Let's play now, Jonathan, and the magic box.
Okay.
And you can ask me a question.
All right.
Okay.
I should have drunk some. I should have said for Kentucky bourbon, whiskey, but we call it bourbon. I should have had a shot of that before, maybe. No, I might have danced better.
Right, you can ask me a question now, Jonathan.
All right. See, question. Well, I've seen you with the cowboy hat. So is there a story behind the hat?
I have here in front of me. Yes, there's a story behind. I was I was traveling I went to Canada, I think was, I just came back actually 4 weeks ago, but before that, I think it was 2018. It was the second time I went to Canada. So I was in Montreal, I visited my best friends, and from there, another friend of mine, he's English, but he was in New York. So he just drove from New York to Montreal, and from there we drove to Boston, and also we went to Cape Cod. We went to this very gay city that is the gayest city I ever been in my life, called Provincetown. I don't know if you heard about it.
I've heard of Provincetown, but I used to watch some Canadian television series, so I've heard of it.
Right. So we are in Boston. You're in Boston, and I must say something to you, Jonathan. I don't like shopping. Shopping for me, I have to be in the mood to shop. It's like a phobia, you know what I mean? I don't know, I never liked it. And I also I'm a bad company as well, because when I go shopping, my friends, they don't call me for shopping because they know I'm gonna be impatient. Anyway, saying that, we were in Boston, and I was with this lovely friends, and he likes shopping. So anyway, I was with him, and we went this store, and he was looking some hats, and I was just like kind of following him and pretend that I was enjoying around. I was checking some stuff. And suddenly I got to him, I said, oh, so shall we go? And he said, William, try this hat. And I was like, okay, why? But I put it on, and he was like, why did you take it? I was like, no, I don't like this hat. He was like, come on, just take it. I'll get it for you as a gift. I said, oh, come on, I'm not going to wear it. I'm not going to wear it. I said to him, and he said, oh, come on, just take it. I like it. It fits well. I said, okay, let's do it. So he gave me this hat, and actually, actually, when I was flying back to London, I didn't have space for the hat because I didn't want to damage. So I kind of came with the hat on my, you know what I mean, wearing the hat. And actually, I kind of started enjoying it. And when I arrived in London, I remember it was a bit cold. No, actually it was summertime, but it was kind of windy. And I know that I had to luggage. I said, okay, I'm going to put the hats on. And I was walking like through the stations in the airport. People, they were staring like, he might be American, or he might be from South America. I don't know. So anyway, so that's the thing. But the story behind of the hat is, I started doing the interviews the very first lockdown when the COVID situation started. And I didn't have haircut for so long, and I didn't want to start the videos without, like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I always like short hair. I wish I had your hair like very well set.
I need to get it cut. It's a mess right now.
Anyway, so I said, no, I need to cover my gray hair. So I said, okay, I'm gonna wear the hat. I'm just gonna wear this hat, see how it goes. And actually, people start talking about and asking about, oh, where's the hat? And I had interviews where people were like, where's your hat? Where's your hat? It's like your signature. I was like, oh my God, there you go. Yeah. So yeah, the whole story, it came from, it's a genuine present that I gave, a good friend of mine gave to me. And I just started wearing just to kind of, you know what I mean, be different. But literally the main reason behind is because I thought my hair was too long and I just want to hide a little bit. So yeah, so that's the whole story about the cowboy hats. That's
Well, it looks good on you. So.
oh, thank you. I haven't actually. Actually, I'm gonna put it on. That's the cowboy hats. That's So yeah, I'm gonna. So,
there you go.
That's the famous cowboy hat. I might start wearing again. Why not? I think it's a kind of
definitely. If you go to Texas, you probably better wear it.
Yes, let's go to the.
Or if you go to Nashville, Tennessee, you can wear it there too.
There we go. And you're gonna show me around and get one as well. We go together like that.
Well, they actually have the Parthenon there, like a recreation of the Greek Parthenon there, with the statue of Athena in it as well. So it's really
there
cool.
We go. We are set already. My next trip to the US, I'm gonna pick you up in Kentucky, and from there we can travel around a little bit.
Yeah. I'll show you the bluegrass or our. Well, we don't have a lot of bluegrass in the Western Kentucky part, but the bluegrass area is Lexington, the central area there.
I see. Jonathan, did you enjoy the interview? Did you have a good time?
I did, and it was very good. I was nervous at first, but I definitely feel a lot more at ease. So,
thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time, and thanks for being sweet and accepting my invitation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
But before you go, would you like to share a positive message or a positive quote, something that inspires you in life?
Well, I didn't have anything memorized, but I did look at some quotes and stuff that I thought would fit for this year. I try not to make New Year's resolutions because most of the time that you don't ever follow through. So It's kind of like I told a friend of mine, I don't believe in dates because I feel pressure. So I'd rather, if I'm going out on a date, I'd rather not call it a date. Just hang out, be kind of casual. But I found this by Henry David Thoreau, and I thought it was really good. Kind of fits with what I'm trying to do this year in the last couple of years. And I have actually done some of that starting last year. If one advances confidently in the direction of one's dreams and endeavors to live the life which one has imagined, one will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. So kind of back to living in the moment, and like with your hat, it was just one of those unexpected things. And kind of thing. So
there you go.
So that's what I'm trying to focus on, is those uncommon moments where you find where you live actually. So.
Absolutely. I think nowadays the world is so fast, you know what I mean? Things are going so fast. Sometimes we forget about the present. Sometimes we forget to live the moment. Yeah. And sometimes I think we need to memorize ourselves or try to watch out, you know what I mean, ourselves and, put in place the habit of, okay, I'm in the present. Let's see what I'm doing right now. What's happening right now. Let me enjoy the moment. I think we should start. It's a new start of the year. Why not? You start this, let's say, exercise. You know what I mean? Exercise I
need to go to the gym now. So
I mean, exercise your mindset. Of, you know what I mean?
You're calling me out. I need to go to the gym today.
Jonathan, thank you so much for the interview. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. Okay. Thanks for your kindness and for your happiness as well. And we keep in touch. Okay.
All right. Yes, sir. All right. You have a good day.
Take care. Bye-bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.